Hey guys, it's Kat. Welcome back to my channel. As you could tell from the title, today we're going to do another character from Toy Story of Buzz Lightyear to infinity and beyond. One of the best characters from Disney's Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear, brings so much life to the storyline. If it wasn't for him, there would be no change. There would be no thickening plot. He is everything. So today we're going to do the first part to a two-part video where we turn into Buzz Lightyear, and later on this week we're going to do a second part with a twist. What happens to Buzz Lightyear later? You will just have to see. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to see that video later on this week, but until then, let's turn into Buzz Lightyear. First of all, I'm going to put a wig cap on. This is totally optional, but I like to get all the hair out of my face. Depending on your costume, my costume was missing a piece of it, its hood, which is so important. So later I'm going to put a bald cap on. But until then, as you can see, I'm flattening down my eyebrows with glue stick and powder. I do personally about 4 layers of glue stick and powder, waiting for each layer to completely dry before moving on to the next one. This is a trick that you could do to flatten your eyebrows down so that you could draw on top of them or paste other things on top as well. Once all those layers are completely dry and flattened, it is time to get our fake nose. I got this fake nose that resembles if Buzz Lightyear was really a human, in my opinion. So as you can see, I'm using some liquid Prozaid with a Q-tip on my nose, and I put some on the prosthetic before attaching this foam latex prosthetic onto my face. I am then going to get my other foam latex prosthetic, which is a fake chin that's very masculine and squared off, and using some more liquid Prozaid to attach that to my face. Mine is a little off and askew, don't mind it. Some people's chins are crooked in real life, but I'm just gonna get some Prozaid cream to smooth down the edges of this prosthetic on parts where it is bumpy or rough and not really smooth to my skin. Making sure that Prozaid cream is completely dry before moving on to some liquid latex. I love to use red stipple sponges with the liquid latex to make sure it gives a great natural texture of a skin-like quality on the edges, blending my edges of my foam latex prosthetic into my skin. Make sure you get all the edges on your nose and your chin. You can even do under it as well, all areas on every single edge. Once those edges are pasted down, we are going to get a blow dryer to make sure it's dry before getting some liquid Prozaid, again with the red stipple sponge this time, to do a layer on top of these foam latex prosthetics so that the paint will stick to it and not seep through and work really well with these prosthetics. Now, I'm just going to get a white eyeliner pencil. Any eyeliner or brow pencil will work to outline Buzz Lightyear's huge eyeballs that are so animated and give him so much character. I'm just drawing that in the sockets of my eyes over my natural eyebrows. You really want to look at reference pictures of those cold, dead, doll-like eyes that Buzz Lightyear has. I'm even drawing parts of his eyelids and especially his expressive eyebrows. They're a little bit more thicker and more exaggerated than Woody's eyebrows were in my previous videos, and they are closer together on his face. They kind of look like slugs running away or worms running away from a bird about to eat them. We are also going to use this white eyeliner to outline Buzz's mouth. He always has an open, gaping mouth in shock over everything he sees because he's coming into a new world as a new toy. You can even draw a line over your lip to make his teeth as well, his grin and smile. Now I'm just going to get some moisturizer to moisturize my face before putting on, other foundations just as a base so that my foundation will glide on smoothly. Make sure not to put this on your prosthetics though. Once your moisturizer is on your skin and your neck, now we're going to get our mauve Mel Pax paint to put onto our prosthetic. If you guys know me, I love to do a layer of this mauve. It's like a deep burnt orange red tone paint first before I do any skin tones because it helps it look like it's attached to my face, like it has blood flow in it, like it looks real and more lifelike. If you do this layer first, make sure it's on both prosthetics and completely dried so that it doesn't mix in with any other foundations or skin colors. Before getting our other Mel Pax paint in this foundation color that matches my other foundation perfectly, but this one has, again, the Prozaid in with the paint so that it sticks. I'm putting that on that chin prosthetic and on my nose. You really want to make sure you cover that mauve tone paint with a full, thick, full coverage, like a full coverage gal type of foundation. Again, you want to make sure it's dried before dipping into our color correctors. This step is totally optional, but I have deep, dark circles and under eye bags. I'm just correcting that before I put any foundation on, since we're going to see that skin under his eyes this time. And now we're going to get our CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1 foundation in this perfect color that matches the skin tone of those nose prosthetics on the paint I put on them perfectly. I'm getting a damp beauty sponge. This is the Sigma 3D HD sponge. It is my favorite beauty sponge, and I'm dipping the foundation and first putting on the areas that need the most coverage around the edges of those prosthetic paints, on my forehead and in between those areas, making sure that I don't put it on my eyes that I outlined or my eyebrows, and bringing it down my neck as well. Now I'm just getting some Tarte Shape Tape or whatever full coverage concealer you have with a brush on the edges around the eyes and areas I think I missed. I even covered the eyebrows because I'm just going to paint them on later. Just going around them was such a hassle because they're so detailed and arched. We will just paint over our foundation later. Trust me, it will work. It'll be fine. Whatever you feel like doing, girl, you do you. I'm just covering around the outlines, making sure not to go in those eyes or the mouth. Now I'm just dipping into my cream blush and blushing his cheeks, just like Woody. Buzz has very blushing cheeks, and on his nose a little bit as well. Then I am getting my Maybelline Fit Me powder to powder down my entire face and foundation, just to set it so that we could blend in other colors and contour, powders and shades on our face very nicely and evenly. Now it's time to get our powder, contour, or whatever eyeshadow matte color you have that's in a contour shade, with a very tiny brush to do the eyebrows and like his eyelids around his eyes. This is going to give so much more detail and expression around the eyes before we paint them in later. I'm just outlining it to make it look more cartoonish and animated before getting a tiny blending brush to blend in his laugh lines and smile lines around his face and on the sockets of his eyes, just like we did Woody. We want his eyes to look very animated. Getting the same contour colors again with that very tiny brush to do the detail around his mouth, around the teeth, and get a white aqua paint. We are going to paint in his teeth over our lips. I know this sounds very weird, like Buzz is participating in one of those teeth whitening Instagram ads, but trust me, it will work. We are also getting that white aqua paint to paint in our eyeballs. On top of our eyebrows where we outlined his eyeballs in the beginning, you want to make sure this is very pigmented. I absolutely love Wolf Brothers hydro paints for these types of makeups, of especially very opaque white on top of the eyelid, because it doesn't crack or crease as much as some of my cream paints do. Makeup Forever makes a great white cream paint as well in like a pot. Once that is on, we're going to make sure it's completely dry. If you're using cream paint, you don't have to dry it like this, you just set it with powder. Speaking of setting with powder, we're setting it with the white powder from our Lunatic Cosmetics Lab Contour Palette Kit. Now we're getting our brown aqua paint with a very long brush to do his arched eyebrows. You really want to look at pictures of Buzz to do these eyebrows. His eyebrows are so animated and crazy. They remind me of Gaston for some reason from Beauty and the Beast. We're going to do the brown shade at first, and then we're going to layer on top this black aqua paint that was so tricky for me. I had the brush a little too wet and it was dripping, but I like to tap it with my finger to mix the colors to make them more of a brunette shade than a straight up black eyebrow. Any mistakes you make though, you could just cover up with concealer, no worries, girl. Getting a dark contour shade, like almost a matte black eyeshadow, and coloring in around his mouth with a very tiny brush. Then we're getting that matte black eyeshadow though with that very same tiny brush and doing the outline of his mouth. We are contouring around his cheeks and face. Getting those same contour powders near our eyebrows in the middle of it where his eyebrows furrow whenever Buzz Lightyear is doing any expressions with his brows and eyes. And as you can see, we are also coloring in his eyelids. Now I'm just going to get my Juvia's Place eyeshadow palette, and I'm getting this beautiful aqua blue teal color that's very shimmery and coloring in the blueness of Buzz Lightyear's eyes using a flat brush with a MAC Fix Plus or any setting spray really does help with this. And then I'm getting my NYX Black Matte Liquid Eyeliner and I'm outlining his eyes. You really need a steady hand at this when you're outlining, especially when you color in his pupils, because this is what really makes the character. I feel like it's such fine lines and you can mess up a cartoon character to not make it look like the cartoon, which cartoons seem simple, but they're not. You want to make sure that eyeliner is completely dry so that when you blink, it doesn't mess up. Before getting a very tiny brush with that brown aqua paint, fine tip of a paintbrush to do that squiggly mark on the end of Buzz Lightyear's chin. I did 2 layers of this brown aqua paint to make his little curly Q on his chin. Now it's time to let our hair down while we look like that dude from Shrek. But I'm gonna put a bald cap on because I am missing a piece to my costume, unfortunately, the purple cap, so I'm just gonna make my own out of a bald cap, which is super duper hard. We're gonna fit the bald cap on her head at first, making sure where we want to put the adhesive. The adhesive I'm using today is Telesis. It is very expensive. You could just use Pros-Aid, honestly, with some Q-tips down the sides near my hairline, but not on my hair. And then applying that bald cap that looks like a swimmer's cap. We want to make sure it covers our ears like this and not cut any edges. I mean, you could cut some edges around your neck, but you don't gotta, girl, if you don't have to. We covered up some of our eyebrows, so I'm just filling some of the eyebrow in and coloring in his purple cap. Buzz Lightyear has a bright purple cap on his head that matches his suit, so I'm trying to match the suit with some purple aqua paint by Wolf Brothers. This is their hydro color. You could do 2 or 3 layers of this. It takes a while, just make sure it doesn't drip everywhere because I had some drippage problems whenever I paint my bald caps. You want to make sure it's completely dry before getting Buzz Lightyear's costume. Honestly, he has the best outfit in my opinion from Toy Story, other than Miss Bo Peep. And with that, we are completely done with our Buzz Lightyear makeup transformation from Disney's Toy Story series. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This took a long time to make. There's so many issues when I was making this, but I'm so glad how it turned out. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to see part 2 to this video where I do a creepy twist later on this week of Buzz Lightyear. I can't wait to show you that. Like this video if you want to see more creepy makeups from Toy Story, and leave any comments of any other characters you want me to do. You guys can follow me on all social medias and I will see you in the next video. Love you all. Bye!